Karl Lagerfeld, 1933 to 2019, the provocative genius. The Kaiser of Chanel died. Lagerfeld has marked the world of fashion for decades and bridged the gap between luxury and ready-to-wear. Karl Lagerfeld died Tuesday morning at the American hospital in Paris, where he was hospitalized on Monday, he told Reuters, citing Paris Match. Chanel's designer was 85 years old. Karl Lagerfeld is the face of the post-seamstress fashion of author and luxury, the man who was simultaneously in both worlds, that of the ateliers and luxury rarefaction of the first half of the 20th century, and that of the more pop-ready prêt-à-porter who has symbolized the great changes in the fashion system over the past 30 years. He reached the pinnacle of his career, and, let us argue, his talent, when he came to the direction of the most emblematic of the Maisons de Mode, Chanel in 1983, and also there ascended to the popularity that made him that face known by much of the world, even the one that does not contact the fashion universe. Reactions to his death did not wait. "We will never forget your incredible talent and endless inspiration. We were always learning from you," said Donatella Versace. Diane von Furstenberg called it a provocative genius and a witness so perceptive of everything. At the last Chanel parade, during Paris Couture Week, the creator did not appear at the end to thank, as usual, sending in instead Virginie Viard, director of the creative studio of the Maison and right arm of Karl Lagerfeld. At the time, the brand advanced, in a statement, that Lagerfeld felt tired. The causes of his death are not yet known. Virginie Viard will succeed him in creating the collections, Chanel said in a statement quoted by Liberation. Virginie Viard, director of Chanel Fashion Creation Studio and the closest associate of Karl Lagerfeld for more than 30 years, has the confidence of Alain Wertheimer, co-owner of Chanel, to create the collections, to continue to live the legacy of Gabrielle Chanel and Karl Lagerfeld, the statement said. The creator was born in Hamburg, Germany, on September 10, 1933, and devoted his entire life to fashion. He did not like being a child, he confided in an interview with Paris Match in 2013. At the age of 6 he spoke 3 languages: German, which was his mother tongue, English and French, read the Iliad, and had no friends, lists. He arrived in Paris, where the family had an import and export office, at age 16 to study, and it all started in 1949 when he accompanied his mother to a Dior parade, the French magazine Closer recalls. Years later, in 1955, he began his career as assistant to Pierre Balmain. Before that, he had won an ex aequo with young Yves Saint Laurent, the first prize of the International Secretariat of Wool. At the same interview at Paris Match, Lagerfeld confesses his friendship with the French couturier. "There are no such people anymore," he laments. In 1965, Lagerfeld joined Fendi at the invitation of the 5 daughters of the founding couple of the Italian luxury brand. The young designer modernized the way people look at the pieces of fur, reinterpreting them and turning them into light, delicate pieces, reads the presentation of the brand on the LVMH website. In 1977 he launched the first ready-to-wear collection, for which he still contributed as creative director, alongside Silvia Venturini Fendi, who represents the 3rd generation of the family. During the 1960s, he also began to collaborate with Chloé, and in 1974 became creative director of the brand, maintaining a close relationship with it until the end of the century. It was in the 1980s that she entered Chanel, then said that she worked 16 hours a day and was happy to do so. She spent 36 years in the French fashion house. In 1984, he founded his eponymous brand, which has since gained a global reach. His image was his trademark: sunglasses, impeccably white hair, and hairstyle in a velvet bow tie, white shirts, countless rings in his hands. The documentary Lagerfeld Confidential, 2007, opened the drawer of his rings, showed him the obsessions, the intimacy possible, and allowed him grandiloquences. "Fashion is ephemeral, dangerous and unfair," postulated Karl Lagerfeld. About himself, a polyglot and a voracious reader, said to be a total improvisation. It was emoji, an icon cat owner, his choupette, a contributor to brands such as Vans, Coca-Cola or Faber-Castell, and the initial spark of what would be the popular collections of fast fashion brand H&M with fashion designers. Its in 2004 was the first, and its success would dictate a global strategy for Swedish stores. As emblematic as his fashionable trait was his unmarked personality, with no media filters, capable of classifying former French President François Hollande as someone who hates the rich and of producing, a decade ago, comments that are now classified as body shaming. He cultivated his thinness after a diet in 2000 when he decided he wanted to wear the long silhouettes created by Hedi Slimane for the Dior Homme and for professional credibility, as he wrote in the British newspaper Telegraph. 9 years later, on a German magazine's decision to turn to ordinary, realistic women rather than models of demanding measures, she bluntly said that the decision had been made by fat moms sitting in front of the television with their packages of potato chips to say that lean models are ugly.